Prayer and pledge of allegiance. Our
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, welcome everyone. Item C, we're going to do the swearing in of Patrolman Nicholas Jones. Mr. Mayor. Where you from?
Delta.
How long you been on the circuit?
Third week.
Third week.
Yep.
Okay. So you're going to do something very unnatural,
All
right? The natural thing to do when there's danger is to run away.
Mm-hmm.
And you're volunteering to run towards the danger.
Absolutely.
It takes a special kind of person. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, all right?
Mhm.
Make sure you're always on the brave side, not the stupid side.
Yes, sir.
The old police chief used to tell us that, look, criminals are stupid. We'll catch them eventually. All right, we can get them, all right? We can't replace you. A lot of things I want to do as mayor, a lot of things these people want to do here sitting on city council, there's something we don't ever want to do, and that's for the final call because something's dumb, all right?
Yes, sir.
So listen to the people. They're good. You're doing good for us. You do what you're told, you'll be fine, all right? Head down, chin up, and be just fine, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, a loved one take a picture. If they want to come up in here, we can do it if you want to get a closer picture. There's a little door right over there. All right, let you turn a little bit this way. Facing there.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, we need to act like or the feet prints like from the Marine Corps basic training. Right, guys, stand here. All right. I. It's okay. Stay right there. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Nick Jones,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the Constitution
to support the Constitution
and the laws
and the laws
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter, ordinances, and resolutions
and the charters, ordinances, and resolutions
of the City of Napoleon, Ohio,
of the City of Napoleon of Ohio,
and faithfully discharge,
and faithfully discharge,
perform all duties
perform all duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as patrolman,
as patrolman,
to which I've been appointed
to which I've been appointed
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
according to the best of my ability and understanding. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Wait. You good? Okay. Come over here, come over here, come over here. And you sign right there. Kevin Jones, who's gonna put your badge on you.
My mom.
Coming up, Mom. Come here, Mom, there you go. Don't stick you. Are you good? Karen, you got your opinion, please.
I took one while you're talking.
Took one? Okay. Patrolman Jones, floor is yours. Tell us about yourself. Where you from?
All right, I'm from Delta, Ohio. Graduated from Heidelberg University. Ran cross country and track there. Through these 3 weeks I've been here with Napoleon, everybody from the police department, fire department, everyone that works for the city. It's been really welcoming and warm in my transition into the department. So I want to thank everybody for that. It's been very much appreciated.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks, sir. Thanks, welcome.
Congratulations from me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good job, Mom and Dad. Raise a patrolman. Congratulations.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You guys are
Yeah.
welcome to stay for the hour and a half, 2 hours, or you can go. It's not as long as somebody's sermon at once in a while. Oh, come on, let me pass it. I'll get along great. And nobody gets to lose during here.
Wait, you gotta say that. Is he still out there?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be shorter than Marx's sermon. I mean, but they still left. I don't know.
Shut the door.
Shut the door.
He's holding.
What was that, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah,
Council
I-
President said something about ours
This
will be.
meeting will be shorter than some of the sermons I've been to. But I didn't say Pastor Marcis. I don't know why he assumed that.
Then again, people did just walk out during our meeting. They never walk out during your sermon, so.
They have.
Oh.
Either that or- I would have to call quite a rescue.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh. All right, moving on to item D. Approval of minutes from the October 7th, 2019 regular council meeting. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the minutes shall stand approved. Stand approved. Item E is citizen communication. Anyone in the audience that would like to speak on anything other than what's on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on. Reports from council committees. The electric committee met on October 14th, 2019.
And we approved the October 2019 PSCAF, and we recommended council enter into agreement with Efficiency Smart.
Thank you, Councilman Schaefer. And item 2 is water, sewer, refuse, recycling, and litter committee was canceled due to lack of agenda items, same as the municipal properties. And Parks and Rec committee met earlier tonight to discuss shelter house rates. Okay, moving on to item H, introduction of new ordinances and resolutions. Number 1 is ordinance number 069-19, an ordinance authorizing the finance director to make appropriation transfers, transfer of appropriations 3 from one appropriation line item to another appropriation line item pursuant to ORC section 5705.1 or .40 for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019, as listed in Exhibit A, and declaring an emergency, and suspension is requested as well. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Kelly?
Thank you. These are part of the third quarter budget adjustments that were approved by the Finance and Budget Committee. There hasn't been any changes since then.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions or comments? You want to elaborate a little bit on why we're requesting suspension?
So that they can go into effect. Some of them, we have bills out there waiting.
Okay. All right. And people don't like to wait when they have money owed to them, right?
Correct.
Right, Travis?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have a motion for suspension?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll on suspension.
Jeff M.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Rox, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Jeff M.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay, that's been passed on first read under suspension. Moving on to item H2, ordinance number 070-19, an ordinance supplementing the annual appropriation measure supplement number 6 for the year 2019 and declaring an emergency, and suspension requested as well. Okay, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Kelly?
Thank you. Again, this is part of the third quarter budget adjustments that was approved by the Finance and Budget Committee, and it also includes the turnout gear for the fire department.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for suspension?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll on suspension.
Jeff M.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay, any questions or comments? Hearing none, Rox, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Jeff M.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay, that is passed on first read under suspension as well. Moving on to item H3, resolution number 071-19, a resolution authorizing the finance director to transfer certain fund balances from respective funds to other funds per section 5705.14 ORC on an as-needed basis in fiscal year 2019, listed in Exhibit A, Transfer 3, and declaring an emergency, and suspension is requested as well.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Kelly?
Thank you. It's the final piece of the third quarter budget adjustments. It's transferring money from the general fund to the economic development fund to cover our supplemental on the ordinance for the 70-19.
Okay. Do we have a motion for suspension?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll on suspension.
Jeff M.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay, any questions or comments? Hearing none, Rox, please call the roll on the resolution.
Jeff M.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay, that has been passed on first read under suspension as well. Moving on to item H4, ordinance number 072-19, an ordinance amending the city income tax code, section 194.03 definitions to adopt section 718.01 YY and 718.01 ZZ of the Ohio Revised Code and declaring an emergency. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Who wants this one?
Thank you. This is adding the definition of pension and the retirement benefit plan. It was passed by a budget bill and it's effective on or after January 1st of 2020.
Thank you. Any questions or comments regarding this?
Is this gonna have a material impact on the amount of income that we're gonna get, that we're assuming we're gonna get in 2020 for income tax?
Don't know that.
Okay.
I don't believe so, but,
Yep.
I mean,
We can check, but yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think so
Okay.
either.
Perfect, okay, thanks.
we will be discussing that thoroughly tomorrow, all day, from 10 o'clock to 4 PM. Kelly and I.
Not just income tax.
Got it.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff M.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
That will move on to second read. Okay, moving on to item H5, resolution number 073-19, a resolution approving a $50 surcharge to City of Napoleon, Ohio health insurance premiums, amending resolution number 012-18 and declaring an emergency. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Joel?
Thank you, Council President. As we discussed in previous council meeting and at the Healthcare Cost Committee, recommended that the council proceed with the healthcare plan that was provided by the staff at the last meeting, which includes the percentage increases, but also keeps the split between the city share at 87.5 and the employee share at 12.5%. But the Healthcare Cost Committee, as part of their charge, is to try to control healthcare costs whenever possible, and unanimously approved of the continuation of the $50 surcharge for employees that wouldn't go and get their wellness check, and this also includes spouses that are on our plan. So, in essence, though, that we've been compliant last year in getting our wellness checks, which we got to hit the 75% mark. That gets us 1% discount on our health insurance premiums for the year. So instead of a 9% increase, it was an 8% increase. Nothing further to add, unless anybody has questions.
Hearing none, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff M.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
No.
All right, we'll move on to a second read. Okay, item H6, ordinance number 074-19, and ordinance supplementing the annual appropriation measure supplement number 7 for the year 2019 and declaring an emergency, and suspension is requested. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Kelly?
Thank you. The court received a technology grant award in April of 2019 in the amount of $67,899, and this is supplementing that so that they can enter into they have a contract with Henshin, so this is being able to pay the bill for the upgrade.
Okay. Thank you. Could I have a motion for suspension?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll on suspension.
Jeff M.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori. Yes. Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay, we have any questions or comments regarding this? Okay, Rox, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Jeff M.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori. Yes. Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay, that has been passed on first read under suspension. Okay, we have no second reads today. We'll move on to item J, third reads of ordinances and resolutions. First one is ordinance number 060-19, an ordinance adopting a revised comprehensive plan with thoroughfare plan provisions in and for the city of Napoleon, Ohio. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Joel?
Thank you, Council President. Third and final read of the citywide master plan, and this gets passed and gets adopted, and we'll continue forward with the items that are outlined in it.
Great, thank you. Any questions or concerns? Okay, Hearing none, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff Bell.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay, that has passed on third read. Item J2 is ordinance number 061-19, which is ordinance amending Chapter 301, definitions, and enacting Chapter 343, operation of low-speed vehicles, underspeed vehicles, utility vehicles, or mini trucks relative to the traffic code and declaring an emergency. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Joel?
Thank you, Council President. This is the third and final read for ordinance that allows for slow-moving vehicles that are licensed, inspected, and have a proper seatbelt for these slow-moving vehicles, and only includes, following state statute, only includes roads on 35 miles an hour or less, and nothing new to report.
Have any questions or comments?
What are we gonna do about the fair? You're gonna make everybody that has a golf cart over there get a license?
Are they crossing the street?
They sure are. Everybody on that south end. And I would say there's, probably 80% the people that camp on the south side have a golf cart there.
They should be.
Right.
Well, to be legal,
I mean, it's,
I don't want to speak for you, but
You're saying
they gotta
they've
have
been doing
licenses
this?
if they're gonna drive on the
Oh,
street.
they've been doing this for
they've been
years.
doing this illegally for years. Is that what you're
We
saying?
don't have anything, we don't have anything in place right at the minute.
Yes, we
Well,
do.
right now, it's against the
illegal.
law. Billy, can you help with that?
So you guys just passed it. Or about to, I don't remember.
But, yeah, it sounds like he's saying if they didn't have a license and have all the,
I mean, you have to follow all the other rules, all the other
Right.
regulations, so yeah, I mean, where we couldn't enforce, I mean, I guess technically we could have via another route, but where we couldn't have enforced in the past, we now can. So,
Well, they weren't allowed, period.
no, they weren't supposed to be.
Right.
So if they were doing it, they were violating the law.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to look out for us down the road. What do you think the people, well, if you're gonna camp there, you already paid your fees for next year. So we're gonna hit them up now, they're not gonna be able to bring their carts here. And people have already paid.
They were
a fee.
illegal last year and they bought them anyways, Jeff.
Yeah, but nothing's been enforced. Now we're gonna have to enforce it since we got the ordinance. I don't know, that's,
so they were driving on city streets.
sure. All hours,
I didn't realize that.
all hours from the fair, whenever it was.
Huddle Road especially, that'd been Huddle Road, so it probably wasn't being enforced anyway. The current
Right.
ordinance probably wasn't being enforced.
I just think it's sad that this whole issue has become an issue because a development on the south side just won't put a path on the property so that they could just drive carts back and forth from a project to the senior center. I'm just gonna have to increase the size of that oil gun on the front of my car. Those slow drivers.
Do you have any other comments or questions regarding this?
And I think just the reason that the state of Ohio deemed it allowable to do this, I think we've seen in many instances that the state of Ohio, the legislators, really don't give a crap what the municipalities or the citizens think. That's obvious in House Bill 6, and then other legislation that they're trying to press down that are going to negatively affect municipalities. So I wouldn't look to the state of Ohio as being a guiding source.
Yeah, I thought I'd better bring it up because I got relation that has a golf cart there. And once I tell him, until you get it licensed and inspected and everything, your possibility, you're gonna get arrested.
You could have been arrested last year, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Tell them to do midnight out.
You know, I don't know if the fairgrounds allows for people that do have golf carts that are across the street, you know, the campground that's across the street, if they would allow them to park them on site so that they can get them from day to day, too. I mean, I don't know if there's any option or room for them to do something like that, so they're not crossing the road illegally. I mean, we could have a conversation with the you know, was it Wayne Michaelis or
Yeah,
one of the other board members of the
sure.
fairgrounds, so that it is done the right way. And there's a way to do it the right
Sure.
way. It's just a matter of having good communication with them. And I mean, I don't think the police department or Billy or anybody at the court wants to, you know, have to, you know, enforce the laws. I mean, we have to when we have to, but it's just, you know, it's better preventative to have a conversation ahead of time. So I can make that commitment and
Sure.
and have that talk
Appreciate
with
it.
them. And
Well, if we're gonna have it
See
on
if
the
there's
books
something
and
they can
not enforce it, then why are we putting it on the books?
well, I guess I'm saying for all the non-licensed golf carts that are at the that are at the fairgrounds during fair. Everything else would, I mean, obviously has to be licensed, so.
Anything else? Okay. Hearing none. Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff Bell.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
No, ma'am.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Tonight's the night, no.
Okay, that has passed on third read. Okay, moving on to item K, good of the city.
Oh, you
Oh, did I skip
got
one?
one.
Come on, Joe.
06319.
Resolution number 06319. A resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds over $25,000 for the purpose of purchasing a 2019 Terex vehicle for the City of Napoleon Electric Department and to sole source said purchase of Terex Utilities Incorporated and declaring an emergency. Sorry, Donnie, I didn't want to spend any money. That's why I was trying to skip that one.
Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Nothing new to report.
No? All right. Danny, you have anything to report?
We could really use that with upcoming projects I see, so I'm glad we're gonna pass this hopefully tonight.
When it comes in, you can let us know so we can come see it.
I'll deliver it to your door if you're
Awesome.
Can I control the bucket when the mayor's in there?
It doesn't have a bucket.
Oh, darn it.
It's a line truck.
Well,
So pick up heavy transformers, big holes, and put big transmission poles in the ground. We need to change out Glenwood Avenue.
And no, you can't work the digger in my yard either. No.
If you do that, can you call me?
yes, I will. Any other serious questions or comments? Hearing none, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff Bell.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Jeff C.
Yes?
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Now moving on to the good of the city. Okay, we have item K1 is discussion or action approval of power supply cost adjustment factor for October 2019 as PSCA 3-month average factor 0.0794 and JV2 0.021949. Joel?
Thank you, Council President. As you can see, it's down way again this month. Good thing. I don't suspect that's going to be sustained, but just enjoy it now while we can, and hopefully we can keep growing our load and keep making the rates cheaper.
Well, it's a third of what it was just 3 months ago.
One of the toils of having being a little bit long on power, you can see in the column where the cursor is, where our usage for what was July and August was way up. So when usage is up, that means how long we are on power is reduced greatly. So that's a good sign, and good. That's why we need to grow our load.
All right.
And keep our transmission capacity rates down. It's a combination.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept this, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff Bell?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Justine?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Travis?
Yes.
Okay, that's been approved. Moving on to item K2 is discussion or action, recommendation to enter into a 3-year agreement for the Efficiency Smart Enhanced Program. We didn't discuss that at all, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
Tom Coyle's here from Efficiency Smart. Sean and Joey couldn't make it, so but he's the real man behind the scenes and the whole
Sweet.
operation. So I had to bring in the heavy hitter for the full council meeting. But
Great.
we discussed at length. There was a presentation done by Efficiency Smart for those that weren't there. One of the questions when we talk about this is, why are we trying to help customers to reduce? We just talked about, increasing our load. Why are we talking about reducing, our load? And, we're in the business of selling power. I think that was one of the comments that one of the BOPA members said. We're in the business of selling power, so we should, try to increase our load. And why are we, but it's this, I'll tell you, the Efficiency Smart program for me has been a great, at least, job, it's a good job retention and economic development tool. And it's something that separates us from other communities that don't have their own municipal electric system. For us to be able to go in and have a contract with an organization that goes into these communities or into these businesses and talks to them about, reducing their costs, and it's, it's amazing to them. And I think we saw recently at Tenneco when they received recognition for the amount of work that they did in their plant. And that's a good sign that they're investing in their plant, because if they're investing, then the likelihood of them making that investment and staying is higher. So it's a really good, been a really good plus for us. Tom, I'd like to invite you up to say a few words about it too, about the difference between the contract that we're in. One thing is the nuances here are that the contract expires at the end of the year. So that's why we're requesting to have the legislation drafted and get 3 reads so that we can enter into a new contract with Efficiency Smart. It used to be, they've been here in this community for 9 years and doing a lot of work here, saving a lot of companies money. But one thing that they're driving at right now is a demand focus. So rather than just go in and say, well, we can go in and save you money on your lighting and everything else, they're going to really hone in on those peak times. And that's where it hits us the most is, driving down our peaks will drive down our capacity and transmission credits and our rates. So, Tom, I don't know how you want to dive into the
Sure.
details of it. But.
So I'm Tom Coyle, and I'm the Director of Account Management for Efficiency Smart. So just kind of building off what Joel talked about. So the programs always cost you $1.40 megawatt hour of your retail sales, and we've focused on megawatt hour savings. We're saving you 0.5% annually on the amount of megawatt hours that you're selling, with a 70% guarantee on that. And actually this comes really out of Napoleon and Bowling Green, you're in this transmission zone called ATSI, where your transmission costs, as you know, are just jumping by leaps and bounds every year. And so we were asked specifically to try and find a way to attack that and not just focus on that megawatt hour. So what we designed was kind of a two-tiered thing where we will continue to do that, but we will also focus on lowering that summer peak, that KW peak, which also lowers your transmission. So that's what was presented to the committee last week. Again, the cost is the same, but instead of now, actually, you're looking at the enhanced, so it's $1.65, but you're now getting two different goals. You're getting this peak goal where we're going to save you 0.5% on megawatt hours. We're also going to save you 0.6% on your summer KW annually over each of those 3 years. And again, each of those numbers is guaranteed at the 70% that we've always provided.
Yeah, one of the items that really, we talked about being long on power, and that was the big driver is, being long on power. And then, for us to be able to have this conversation and re-enter into this contract, we really have to attack the demand side. But for our purposes, we have a contract of purchasing power it's a Morgan Stanley contract, so it's about 20% of our power portfolio that we purchase. It was a 5-year contract, started in 2015. That falls off at the end of 2020. So the good news is that, we've kind of talked about this in electric committee meetings before. By the end of next year, we should see our rates dip down because of that. And that will not make us long on power anymore. So whatever that nexus is of what we have in our portfolio now and what we need to purchase off market, we'll just continually buy that power off market at the current rate, which is really low.
Right, and as part of your power portfolio, I think the number on your contract this year, levelized cost of power for Efficiency Smart, is about $15 a megawatt hour, 15 or 16.
Yep.
I believe is where you are, and so you know this better than I do right now. I think you're 45, 46 for market power.
Yep.
Plus transmission. So
yeah,
we're half of that, not counting. You don't have to transmit the power that you don't have to buy. So that's kind of how that works.
Yeah.
And you've done a great job as a city of using this as an economic development tool and using it to drive deeper and deeper, and we've continued to build deeper relationships with our engineering staff and some of your larger companies, and we've started to do that more and more. And I know Joel and I and Joey Boston, who's our account manager that covers Napoleon, have talked more and more about sort of creating a small business program where one of the things we'll do is make sure we're directly outreaching to small businesses in 2020 and making that a real focused effort as well.
Yeah,
so they're not feeling left behind.
Especially in downtown, because downtown with old buildings, that's they're a little tougher to manage, especially when you've got the cost to operate out of an old building as opposed to a new building.
Right, and very often the person who's in that space doesn't own the building. And so there's a lot of navigating to do, and we're very good at helping them figure out how to cost share or get that so that you can maximize the benefit both for the landlord and for the tenant.
I know you do a lot of recommendations for businesses, larger and smaller, like you're talking about. Seeing Tony back there, our Parks and Rec director, made me think about we're going to be putting in a new pool. Is that something you would have maybe some recommendations for a city pool with saving some on power?
Absolutely. Right, all the services from a technical standpoint, all those things that exist for any of your business customers or basically residential customers, all those things are available to the city. So when you have that, if you've got drawings, if you're looking at things, let us making recommendations so that the pool pack is as efficient as it makes sense. It doesn't have to be the most efficient, but the thing that's most cost effective, so that when you're buying things that your operating costs are lower from day one. So yes, absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Good point. Yeah, we use this with the spec building too. So Efficiency Smart looked at the spec building design and figured out ways for them to save money on the design so that obviously they can operate cheaper.
I thought they gave a great presentation at the electric committee last week. Really explained things in detail, and I'm 100% for it. A lot of benefits in that.
Is this the same thing we talked about maybe a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
I know when we talked about it, prior to the program last week, I know I was kind of on the fence, like, well, why are we doing this? Why are we trying to save money for people that, with the product we're selling? And after the presentation last week, really explained the benefits to the city and to our users in town.
It comes down to rates, as long as we're addressing rates, and that's where the demand focus comes in. And that's where it actually impacts everybody. So you help a single customer, but on the back end, because you reduce that demand charge and that demand rate, then, your capacity and transmission costs save everybody money.
And when you guys had that conversation last year, this demand-focused project didn't exist. And so it was one of those things that actually probably came a little bit out of that meeting and some other meetings and some conversations
Yep.
that you
Yeah,
had with
'cause
AMP and with
even
Efficiency
before
Smart. Yeah.
before that meeting and then coming out of that meeting, we had that conversation about, we would be essentially, if you look at it from kind of how we were looking at it last year, why would we do that? You're subsidizing one customer and helping them save money, but then it's costing everybody else money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's really the balancing act. So that's why the demand focus came into play, and that's, I think that's really,
Right, and it helps everyone. So even
Obviously.
those companies that aren't in a position or just choose not, because companies will always choose not to get involved and not engage, but they get the benefit of the value of lower rates and stable rates and things like that the program allows for.
I think you hit on it well, just the value of the economic development tool of it. It helps everybody, plus it could really help your individual.
Sure.
Because like Tenneco's, I think they were very happy with the steps they had gone through and the savings they've seen there. So if they can do it, the people around town can do it, and we can get those costs down, it helps everybody.
yep.
People ask, why are we part of AMP? Well, we can point to this as a reason we're part of AMP. Besides pointing to Denny Clapp and his great people, that they're on call, can help us do stuff much quicker than if we're part of a larger system. So I think there's two big benefits right there, so.
Yep.
Joel, did you have any numbers from the electric committee meeting?
I saw it wasn't in the packet.
Yeah.
I didn't save it to the thumb drive. So I believe over the course of the 9 years, it was something like was it a $14 million?
Hang on.
You got it. Yeah, he's got it.
I had your presentation
See
from
that?
last week.
See that? Told you, Tom Coyle's got the.
I'm not sure this is in here. It's a little over $4 million in customer savings this contract period, I know. Yeah, this does not have it, so it must have been in a separate slide that Sean had given you.
Yeah. It wasn't. You got it,
Okay.
Rox, and it wasn't. Rox, it was in last week's packet too, right?
She just
Got it.
presented it, so.
Nice. Thanks, Rox.
It says current contract results. The lifetime saving achievement was 45,029 megawatt per hour. And it was a savings of 4,177,648.
Yeah, for this 3-year period.
Yeah.
Right, correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the 14 million range for the whole 9 years.
I would guess that, yeah,
And that.
like this year, we're going to hit 145%, I think, of the contract.
Yeah.
So, and we're somewhere in that, either side of 150% or have been in each of the 3 contracts.
Yeah.
So,
But if you go back, you can look at the PASF things we just did, the standard bill had been $3-point-something million a month, right? That shows the bill on there, doesn't it?
Yes.
So without this program, instead of being 3.4, 3.3, 3.2, you had at least another $100,000 onto it. 4 million divided by, 36 months is 1.333 a year, or about $100,000 a month. So instead of it being, am I reading that right, Joel? The 3.4 column, that's the bill, right?
Right here.
yeah, and
No, the
that
bill
just to be
from
clear, that
AMP.
4 million
Yes,
is,
that's what I mean.
yeah, 4 million is over the lifetime of those measures that are installed. So it's not necessarily over the 3 years.
Okay, but
Yeah.
still you're gonna add quite a bit.
Correct.
You still can see economic development right there. Okay.
And over the last 3 years, in that contract, it shows that benefit, the cost ratio was 4.4 to 1 for us. And I think when Sean was here the other day, he was saying the average is around 2 to 1.
Right, I think in the new packet, we probably promoted this at about 2.5 to 1, like for the next contract, 2.6, and we tend to do that because that's based on hitting 100% of the contract. And again, you guys have averaged.
We're
Yeah.
we've exceeded. That's,
Yeah.
Why don't you take a look if there's anything else that you would...
Yeah, I was gonna.
Point
Let me see if I had it in annual terms. Yeah, annual customer savings is just under $300,000 a year.
Okay.
That's how that, yeah, so. 25 grand a month, something like that.
Okay.
so this new contract will also provide that incentive also, is that,
Correct.
so it's when Efficiency Smart comes in, they actually, through this contract, we actually provide an incentive for them to follow through on these projects, and especially with the demand focus. But there's also a residential program that we had talked about too, that's also been a newer focus because, as we progress through, there's a lot of desire for, helping, residents. I mean, that's.
Right. Most of the new things, other than the demand focus that we've added in the last 3 to 4 months and what carries into next year, are residential focused. So we have people who are unsure why their bill is, what makes up their bill residentially. They can call us. We'll walk them through trying to understand what their bill is made up of and help them identify ways they can lower it. Starting the beginning of January, we're going to launch a online energy audit for residential. So somebody who knows very little about their house can enter what they know. People who built their house and know every square inch of their house can enter that amount of information. It'll walk them through some ideas. We just added heat pumps and cold climate heat pumps, which not only, especially if you have any all electric, not only does it are they much more efficient than doing other things, but if you're looking at load growth,
Yeah, I mean.
things like that if you're doing targeted things like that, because they obviously use.
I mean, the residential, the online piece and the call, I mean, you have the customer, the customer call number too, really. I mean, that really is a big.
It really becomes an asset for the
It gives
utility
everybody a
office that-
chance,
yeah.
it gives everybody a chance to, take control of their own bill. You know what I mean? So, and there's,
Right, it's more than just the 99-cent LEDs.
right,
Right.
which is still going
Right.
to be that's a good program.
Right.
Yeah.
That keeps me hopping.
Does keep you hopping.
Yes, it does.
Do you sell a lot of those?
I just got a new shipment in last
Did
week.
you really?
Yes.
Good.
And I just bought a bunch of them.
Good. Thank you.
Do you have any other questions or comments?
Can I make a few statements?
Sure.
For this?
Come on up, Denny.
Go ahead.
I've been in contact with quite a few small business owners and larger business owners that kind of got left out in the past, not because we didn't have it out there, but maybe there was a manager that didn't understand the program. We have new managers coming in that are a little more educated in this realm of their business, so they want to do things, and if we don't approve this, there's going to be a lot of people, I'm not going to say mad at the city, but they're upset that they're going to get left behind and not have the tools and the rebates and things like that to help them. And we have to remember that the businesses in this community they're the lifeblood of all of us. And if we support them and make them wealthier, we as the citizens of this town and this county become wealthier. So anytime we can help them, I'm all for it. And that's been, my philosophy, to help other departments to get the job done so that we can have cooperation, love, and trust in the community. And this company, because it's so oriented towards that focus too, not just to make money for them. They actually do want to help people, and they're a nonprofit organization, which was pointed out in the last meeting we had. So please consider that I feel it's a great tool for our community and for the electric department and for everybody sitting here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Well
Danny.
said.
Yeah, we want it to be cheaper to do business in Napoleon than anywhere else.
Any other questions or comments for Tom? Thank you for making the trip here, appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Could I have a motion to direct the law director to draft legislation?
So moved.
Second?
Hey, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Josie.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to item K3, is discussion or action on the Van Heine pump station project summary.
Thank you, Council President. You can see on the screen, this was in your packet, this memo from Chad. One of the requirements of receiving funding through DEFA is to hold a public information meeting. This is serving as our public information meeting so that we can have minutes of this on record and say that we had this on the agenda and open to anybody that from the public that wants to talk about this. It's one of their requirements. We have some other fact sheets attached, but just kind of explaining the project a little bit. This is a long-term control plan project. As you're aware, we've renegotiated our long-term control plan to include the wastewater plant and to eliminate a lot of other sewer replacement projects and reduce our total costs that are required under the long-term control plan. Van Heine Pump Station project is under design right now, and we may actually even be able to bid the project out by the end of the year or early next year. This would be funded through DEFA, similar to the all the other projects that we've gotten funded. Hoping for it because we do have higher rates that will get favorable interest rates. We got 0% interest and some loan forgiveness from the water plant project. So we're hoping we get favorable results from these applications too. But basically, it's a replacement project. It's installed in 1979. It's essential infrastructure that's reaching the end of its useful life. You always give an estimate. This came from, this came from Stantec, the $1.7 million. And if there are any comments, we put the comments in and we submitted to DEFA for their review. So no other comments other than that. I just wanted to make sure I made those few statements on record and they can reflect in the minutes and we can ask the public to stand up and speak on it, or if nobody wants to, then we can move on.
All right, thank you. Moving on to item K4, is discussion or action to accept donation to the police department. Hey, Joel?
Thank you. This was a Chief Mac item, but we received a donation of $600. Chief, do you want to explain law enforcement magnets? Was that the this was your baby? So
this organization approached me. We're going to do a calendar. We're going to reach out to local businesses to do a calendar that will help support the area. That will highlight our department. We're going to use it to kind of publicly promote our SRO and our K9. The first year they give us a flat rate of $600 to do this calendar for us, and then the next year I believe is 20% of whatever profit. It's a 2-year commitment.
When will they be available? The calendars, yeah.
We're hoping to roll them out by the end of the year.
Okay.
We got to have the picture to them by the 1st of November, and then their goal is to have this out by year's end.
And where can people purchase those then?
They're going to be donated.
Okay.
They'll be at local businesses and that
Oh,
type of
type
thing.
of businesses?
Because it's advertising that
Yeah,
day,
'cause
where
it's
they get the,
advertising.
Oh, okay, all right,
So, yeah, the calendars will be free.
great, thank you. Okay, can I have a motion to accept this donation?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Stefan?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Jeffy?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Travis?
Yes.
Okay, that's been accepted. Moving on to item K5 is review of 2020 proposed revenue estimates. We'll refer that to the finance
finance
budget.
budget.
Anything you want to comment on that tonight?
No, we're just working on it, so it'll be ready for Monday.
Okay. All right, and item K6 is review the 2020 debt payments. Same thing?
Same thing.
Same committee, finance, budget?
Yes.
Just checking. Just told not to assume things. Okay, we'll go around the table. Kelly, you want to start?
I don't have anything other than we're working on the budget.
All right. Lori?
Just happy birthday, Mr. President.
Thanks.
Travis, this will be our last meeting, and it's been a pleasure working with you the last 2 years, and thank you for your service.
Thanks.
So,
Jeff?
A week or so ago, I talked to Aaron from the city about a tree that's a hindrance to traffic on the corner of Sheffield, in the corner of Strong and Haley Street. It's on the hill. It's a big pine tree. You have to get out almost in the intersection to see traffic coming up the hill. Do you know if anything has been done about that yet, Joe? Or has anybody said anything to you?
No, they haven't. So that's Strong and Haley Street?
Yes,
Okay. We'll have a look.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Joe. Happy birthday, Travis.
it's your birthday too?
Yes.
Belated.
Oh, happy belated birthday then.
And I've known Travis for many, many moons, so yes. It's been nice working with you, Travis.
Thanks.
Okay. Dan?
Safety and Human Resources, Mr. Chairman or Mr. City Manager, do you have anything for that committee this month?
No, we don't. We
Mr.
don't
Chairman?
have anything, yeah.
Anything that you want to make up for this committee, or?
Yeah.
Let me think about
The last time I missed a meeting, you did that. You know.
Right, I did. Well, and you haven't missed a meeting since.
You're right.
It worked!
So, Safety and Human Resources will not meet next week. Chief O'Brien, we will meet in November, and that is with the townships again. And that will be Thanksgiving week this year, that Monday of Thanksgiving week.
Well, do we want to reach out to them beforehand to see if it'll work for them? Or what do we want to do there?
That's not a bad idea.
Just in case,
Yeah.
because it's not, I mean, it's just a preliminary meeting anyways to discuss what the contract's going to look like.
Right, because then the regular meeting's in February, next meeting's in
Correct.
February.
So it wouldn't be a bad idea if we just maybe send an email just to make sure it's going to work for them, but
Did that come from the finance department the last time?
it did. It did.
Sorry, Kelly.
I can
he's
help
not.
with- I can help assist with you doing that, Kelly, so
Okay.
I guess it is that same week this
Yeah, it is the same week,
So,
so.
okay.
That, and that's all on that. And Travis, thank you. 25-plus years is a long time for anyone to do anything, and I'm sure the community appreciates what you've done over your 25-plus years here, so thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Happy belated birthday. And I want to thank you for all the guidance you've given me in a couple of roles, starting off as a council member and then following your footsteps as council president. And I know you won't be getting that huge amount of pay that you get, but I'm still going to call you and ask you questions and things in the future. So, thank you.
I look forward to it.
All right. Mr. Mayor.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. It's not quite time, but I'm going to reappoint, starting in January, I guess, Mike DeWitt for Board of Public Affairs, Steve Small for Board of Zoning Appeals, Marv Barlow for Planning Commission. Jim Fitzenreiter is going to resign from the Tree Commission. However, Gary Hayes is going to take his spot. And I'll pass on Gary's information to you, Rox. 108 going north out of town. There used to be a large Welcome to Napoleon sign that had Home of Sam Meese, and now it's the old standard version.
On the 108 and the north side.
Yeah, going out, yeah. Yeah, it got knocked down last year. I think they did some trimming and it got knocked down, and when they reinstalled, they just reinstalled the old version versus the newer one that has
The two other signs on it, Sam Meese and the
water polo.
Water polo.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
They didn't get replaced.
And I don't think we could add one for Eliza Lincoln now, because you got to be a state champion more than once in order to be on there. She went down there 3 times, I know.
Yeah.
Which is quite an accomplishment. She'll be in the Athletic Hall of Fame, I'm sure, but you got to be individual state champ more than once in order to get on there.
Yeah.
That's why Seth Beard's not on there. He went to state, he lost as a freshman in the finals, and he won as a senior. Had he won it twice, his name would be on there too. I think that's what he said. Team is a one-time thing, individual, they win it twice. So, congratulations to her on her fine tennis career.
Mhm.
Got something for you. We got a proclamation. Like that?
Great.
There's the proclamation. Signed the official X right there, so. That was one side, and then I had Stephanie Harps help me with it, and then she gave it to her son, and he did the other half of it, the back side. So, and this says, whereas Trav Mann has served 925,317,486 days, whereas Shaft Dog got it done. D-U-N, done. From Mr. Mayor, so,
Thank you.
and we also have an official one that's a little cleaner than that, but more suitable for you. I'm going to read it for you. Is that all right?
Sure.
Realizing a need to serve Councilman Travis B. Schaefer's civic career started 26 years ago. Now we celebrate his long-term in service to the city of Napoleon, whereas the first primary election in 1993 was just the start of being involved in many issues to include keeping dispatch and the hiring of the 3 current appointing authorities. I added that because that's what you put in your resignation letter. You were very proud of those 3 things. So, and whereas Monday nights were always lively due to Councilman Travis B. Schaefer's unique viewpoints and opinions, and over 1,200 Mondays have come and gone with Councilman Schaefer's involvement and running as a candidate in 6 elections, each time winning his seat. And whereas Ohio Municipal Electric Association recently named Travis Schaefer as an honorary member, and whereas Napoleon, what was best for Napoleon was always at the heart of your thought process. And since the schedule has changed, and as he pursues his doctoral degree, we wish to join Councilman Travis Schaefer, fond farewell. Now therefore, I, Jason Miles, the Mayor of the City of Napoleon, do ask City Council, City employees, and all of the Napoleon to thank Councilman Travis B. Schaefer and wish him well in his future endeavors. So, thank you very much for everything, Travis. There you are, sir. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I had. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll go to Mr. Myers. We'll save you for last.
All right.
Just what everybody else said, happy birthday to Joe and to Travis yesterday. Ken and I welcome you to the 50 Club.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I've been there a long time. And 60, and 70.
I too have enjoyed my time working with Travis. Thank you for your service for many, many years, and gonna miss you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ken?
Happy birthdays I hope you get as long as I did.
Yeah.
The tree planting at an RNG seems to be under a very slow process. I don't think even the dirt is all piled up yet where it's supposed to be. And I think that was set to be done by October.
Was it October or was it November? I thought it was November 30th. You're right, though.
They're gonna have to go in a hurry.
Oh, yeah, either way. I did actually follow up on that. One of the issues is the trees that they wanted to get were, they have so much quantity that no place locally has enough trees to supply them all at once. So actually, it's going to be Jade Shank that does the planting for him, so he's in the process of ordering trees, and I think he has to get them from out of state somewhere. I think in Pennsylvania.
He's got some nice ones there at his place.
Yeah, yeah. He takes care of himself first before he takes care of you. But no, I did follow up on that, so
Okay.
I appreciate you bringing it up, and I'll follow up with him again.
That's it.
Happy birthday to both. Travis, congrats. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Joel?
Okay, I got a business item here. So during the Parks and Rec committee meeting, what you see on the screen are what's on here right now, what's displayed right now is the shelter house rentals that were, the current one. I guess just to kind of summarize it, the board approved of a 10% increase of all shelter house rental rates. Okay. This was brought up last year, and I believe it didn't make it past committee, or maybe it made it to council, didn't get voted through. Can't remember which, but it got to a certain point and didn't pass and go through, because I think last year was just a $10 increase for all of the rates across the board. The board revisited it this year and decided that it'd be more of a moderate increase to increase it by 10%. So they made that recommendation. I think it was passed unanimously. Tony, is that correct? So they passed it unanimously at the board meeting. We discussed it today at the Parks and Rec committee meeting, and it too was approved. However, we did have a discussion about a couple of items. One, just for customer convenience, if you look, it's $38.50. Well, in most communities, I guess, in some communities you do see it as kind of odd numbers like this, but in most communities you see them as kind of rounded numbers to the nearest $5. So what the committee did was approve the recommendation of the Parks and Rec board with the caveat of adjusting each of the new proposed rates to round it to the nearest $5 denomination. So here's the proposed, what was original from the board, and then this is what the committee has recommended, an updated version, so that the people that pay in cash, which we do have a fair amount of people that come in and pay cash, so they're not getting breaking change and things like that. It's more even numbers and easier to track from that perspective. But also the board also recommended, the committee also recommended that whatever the increase is, so you look at the weekday rate for Ritter Park, this top line of $35 to $40, they'd like to see that additional $5 go into a maintenance fund, so that it would, that it could build up over time, so that if there are leaks, breaks, whatever happens, that money is set aside so that we can care for our shelter houses. So that was the recommendation. If this is, since it was recommended by the committee, I wanted to bring it up at council. If council wishes to approve of this, you can, and then it would be a request to law director to draft legislation to adjust these rates. So I don't know if anybody has any questions, or if any of the committee members have anything to add.
I guess the reason it was voted down, I think, in the first place was because of some of the rates were I thought were unfair. There was one that had like a 40% increase. We talked about that last year. So I think this is more fair, and the committee agreed with the board, so I'll make that motion to direct the law director to adjust the rates and setting up that separate fund for the increase to go towards maintenance.
But we can probably say then it's a $5 across the board increase, not
For a lot,
10%.
yeah, for a lot of them, there are some that are $10, like the larger amounts for the, the Lions Rotary Oberhaus Park. But most of them are 5 on the smaller shelter houses. Then some of them are 5 here, but then you get into the $10 range.
It figures you would do it for the year that I have a graduation, and you're gonna need one of those.
Sort of one of our
Well,
primary concerns.
actually,
I figured it was.
if you book it,
If you book the party now, you're under the old rates.
You can't until December 2nd, I've already tried.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Well, no, if you book it then, because this wouldn't take effect for till next year, right?
Well, it depends on the timing of the legislation.
Right. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Depends on the timing of the legislation.
Does this change in rates need to go back to the board to make sure they're okay with the modification that was made?
Well, it doesn't have to.
Understand that, but
It will be
Question,
communicated to the board. We can make the change now and direct the law director to draft legislation, or just wait and talk to them at the next Parks and Rec board meeting.
Board meets on this Wednesday.
this Wednesday, yeah.
They were happy with doing the bigger increase, so I would think they'd be fine with this.
Okay.
Just speaking, because I go to the board meetings,
Right,
so
yeah.
I would think they'd be, and Tony's in agreement with that, so.
Okay.
So if you want to draft the legislation, then, we can have it on the next agenda. I mean, is that?
Right, the board meets a week from Wednesday.
Oh, sorry, a week from Wednesday. Yep, you're right.
Could we do it contingent upon the approval from the board?
Yeah, you can set it up however you want, yeah. Then-
Just, I mean, they put a lot of work, a lot of effort into it. I hate for us just to go through and edit without giving them the courtesy of, hey, you guys made some changes, we made some changes, you okay with it?
Yeah.
So,
I think some of the discussion before also was the, budget and that the Parks and Rec or set up pretty well. That there really wasn't a necessity to increase. So I'm just curious now. I know, Tony, you said something about Oberhaus roof needing to be replaced probably in the near future. Is that some of what this is going to pay for?
Well, yeah, there's ongoing maintenance to all 3 of those shelter houses, so one of the big discussion items was, while the roof is in good condition now, in 10 years, it likely will be in a position where it might need to be replaced, and that's going to be a big ticket item, $25,000 to $35,000, potentially. It's a pretty big building. There's furnace in there, heat pump, all that kind of stuff, so just future planning. That was the whole idea behind establishing that perpetual maintenance fund, and to keep up with those costs, and that was the idea that the board had for recommending the increases.
Okay, are we clear on the motion that you made?
So I'll amend my motion to include the okay by the Parks and Rec board from my previous motion.
To direct the law director to draft legislation?
That's correct.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff Bem?
Yes.
Ken?
yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Jeff C?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Bradley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Joel?
Yes. Just wanted to bring to everyone's attention that we did have a cyber attack. This was in April, and we'd filed a police report, investigated what went wrong, everything, went through the whole cycle, and but this was back in April, and What had happened, by the way, this is prior to Kelly starting, so I just want to make sure that everybody knows, prior to Kelly starting. We had an employee, it was a phishing email, some employee clicked on an email, they wound up being able to take that email and use it as if it were their own. They emailed over to HR to request that their paycheck be deposited into a different account, and it went over to payroll, and when it went to payroll, then that, the account was changed, and then they had a deposit into the, of a new employee's paycheck going into the erroneous account. So we weren't able to recover that. As a result, we did, Kelly and I did talk to a representative at the state auditor's office and see what they're doing right now is they're looking at ways, do they include cyber attacks in how they audit. And since then we've updated policies, procedures, included the re-implementation of a software program called KnowBefore, and that was something that I guess years ago we had, but for whatever reason wasn't continued. But either way, we put enough procedures in place to prevent that from happening again. But who knows if all the tricky ways that people figure out to they figure out ways to scam the system. We don't know what we're going to be up against. Kelly, you went to training recently, and the CPIM training, and there was a similar discussion about this. I mean, other communities are dealing with these same cyber attack issues. So it's just one thing that I wanted to make sure brought it to everybody's attention, that it happens, it's real.
A very inexpensive method to do that, to help stop those phishing attacks, is if you put a tag on the subject line, and Microsoft can assist with this, that any email coming from external sources be tagged with external. Mm-hmm. That way, they know that it's not, somebody coming in, do that. We've had a lot of instances like that at the university, and especially with like the Amazon cards, buying an Amazon card. And I had a conversation with one of those fishers for probably about 3/4 of a day, going back and forth, trying to get them to bring me the cash instead of, first, before I would go buy the dean a Amazon card. So I had fun with that. And then also, if you look at two-factor authentication, there's a product called Duo that's really good for that. Basically, in order to set up an account, it'll have to send a code to your phone, and then you only have to take and do it again when you change your password. That way, if Mr. Hacker from Russia gets a hold of it, he has to have access to your phone in order to properly get signed in.
That's interesting. Thanks. Yeah, this is just wanted you to know that this happened, and these cyber attacks are real. It's home. Last thing is, Travis, I'd gotten to know you over not even 3 years yet, and I'll be one of the ones that misses you the most. You're one of the 3 that hired me, and that's now there's only one left, and that's you, Mayor. So. It goes a long way. I want to thank you for welcoming me into the community and introducing me to a lot of people here. So hopefully we can stay in touch and continue to have coffee and donuts and golf. Yeah, definitely. So appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Mm-hmm. That's all I have.
Okay, Travis.
Over the last year and a half, we've dealt with aggressive dog issues, cleaning up some of that language here. And then just recently, we took a long look at feral cats and stuff like that. But a citizen brought up in a letter to the editor that we really ought to take a look at the vultures at the fairgrounds. So I really like to challenge council in these next few months to examine that vulture infestation and see if we can come up with a policy to get rid of those vultures.
I believe the letter talked about giving the police some target practice. I don't think that's going to be on the suitable options.
Probably not.
Right.
What goes up must come down.
I'm very sure they could hit everything, but on the off chance they would miss, I hate to see where a stray bullet would end up. So, yeah.
So, it seems like just yesterday that I was in Boy Scouts and helping a group of people rattle a outhouse that Mr. Commodore was in, and then running away from that.
You mean friends of yours did it? You watched. You weren't actually doing it.
Oh, no, I was helping.
These kids. I was not a happy camper that night.
And it just seems like yesterday that Terry Dunn and I were rollerblading through the halls of City Hall, and that first summer I was on, Roxanne was off on maternity leave, and since I was going to college, I volunteered to sit up at the front desk and help answer phones and stuff like that. If you ever want a crash course in learning about city government, sit at that front desk for a while. But with Rupert and I, we would take and have blue light specials over the speakerphones and, all kinds of mature stuff that we would do. So I aptly earned my nickname that Mayor Heft gave me of Council Boy, because we would always go to the town tap afterwards, and I wasn't allowed to drink beer by law. So that was fun. I just want to thank everybody, all the employees. I really think of the work that I've done. I've really tried to take and do the work for the employees, because they are the front lines. If you make the employees happy, they make the citizens happy. And so that's what I take away most is the employees and the appointing authorities that we have now. We've got an awesome team, and only with that do I feel comfortable leaving. And so now I'll take and hopefully complete this next journey of my life and get that doctorate. And my chair wants me to be done by summertime, so that means I'm going to be done by summertime. So hopefully, but it's shaping up to be about 250 pages, so it'll be fun. So in my research, I came across a good friend of General Ulysses S. Grant, and his friend's name was Samuel Clemens, and you might know him by his other name, Mark Twain. And Mark Twain had a quote that I just want to float off into the sunset with. He said, "Politicians in diapers should be changed frequently because they're both filled with the same thing."
You weren't going to say anything about Larry Hayes, still the reigning longest.
Well, that is an interesting thing, because both ends of my 25 years and 10 months of service has been sandwiched by councilman named Hayes. So when I won the primary, I was at Northwest State. I left class early. I skipped out of class because I wanted to hear the election results on the radio. And down to that fourth position, it was between Ken's dad and myself. And the unofficial one was that night was that I won by 16 votes. And they had to do a recount and all of that, and the dangling chads and that whole thing. And so now I'm leaving and Ken's here, so,
But he has the most years at 28, but you have the most consecutive. Is that correct?
I believe that's right.
yeah.
Because there was a
Because he was
split.
he was interrupted a couple times.
Yeah.
The citizens became discontent.
That happens quite frequently. That doesn't mean I might not come back to try to beat that 30 at some point, but not anytime soon. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, moving on to item L. Have a executive session for pending or imminent court actions and security matters personnel. We have 3. Could I have a motion for pending or imminent court actions?
So moved.
Second.
And Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Josie.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Could I have a motion to go into executive session for security matters?
So moved.
Second?
Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Josie.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
And could I have a motion to go into executive session for personnel?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Josie.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Bless you, and thank you.
Travis.
Yes. I think this is the one that's going to get hung.
All right, could I have a motion to come out of the executive session for pending or imminent court action?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Josie.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Oh, shoot, that was a long time ago.
No action taken.
Proven leader.
No action taken on that. Could I have a motion to come out of executive session for security matters?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Josie.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Was there anything we were doing that one?
No action taken.
And can I have a motion to come out of the executive session for personnel?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Josie.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep. I would like to make a motion that, to appoint Roxanne as the clerk of council.
Second.
Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Josie.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Rox, do you get a vote on this?
At the next meeting, I'll make a motion to give you a huge raise. How's that? Right there.
You got the AFSCME one?
With that?
That's the person that asked me.
To
Draft legislation.
Draft
Right,
legislation.
yeah.
for
To approve of the ASP contract.
the contract, the tentative agreement.
A tentative agreement for the AFSCME contract.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Josie.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item M, approval of payments and bills and financial reports. Hearing no
Just wait.
objections or corrections. That was way too soon.
Back in the pay period in September, I think it was the 18th, the Park and Rec had $1,800 in overtime. What was that for?
I'd have to go back and look. I
Wa-
mean,
Was that the fall festival stuff? Would it have been that pay
You
period?
said September?
Yes.
And how many hours?
I think it was $1,800 in overtime.
$1,800.
Gosh darn it. And I'm not gonna find it.
You know, even on the weekends, they're going in, they're cleaning out shelter houses and things for the next rentals and everything else, so there's, I mean, there's a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
was-
weekend work.
It was $1,092 for that pay period.
$1,092, okay.
I was just wondering.
Yeah,
I
mean,
thought that
it's,
was
obviously,
kinda,
it's probably split up through the whole pay period for,
yeah, I thought
for
that was
different
kinda
things.
high this time of the year.
I'll have to get back with you.
Sure, appreciate it. That's it.
Okay. And they will stand approved. Could I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Kind of forgetting who has the last vote here, isn't it?
Right.
Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff Bell?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Jeff
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Travis?
Yes, 2 hours ago.